Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakanvitam Shya Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today is a very auspicious occasion. It happened to be the Mahadvadashi after the Vijay Ekadashi, and the Vrata of Ekadashi as being observed on today. So in this Ekadashi is a very considered very auspicious from the Puranas. Even Krishna himself says Mukunda Priya, no, for Krishna, this particular Ekadashi becomes very pleasing, because this day everyone gets an opportunity to chant and hear more on Lord. So that is the main purpose of this Vrata. This Vrata, Anukalpa. Anu matlab small. Kalpa matlab you, what is able for you. So Anukalpa means on this particular day of Ekadashi, we try to as much minimum possible sense gratification we should do. What is sense gratification? In order to maintain our body, it's necessary that we eat and do some certain eat and maintain it by sleeping and things. So on these ekadashis, 15 days in once in 15 days, these ekadashis we should try our best to minimize our eating and sleeping. And medically also, this is when proven that if you fast, this is called as fasting days, and this is religious, and this is very dharmic, and it will help people physically, mentally, and spiritually. That's how Ekadashi is very much clear, dear to the Lord. Medically also, it has been proven that once if you do 15 days of fast, 15 days in the gap of 15 days, you do the fasting, it will very much help internally your digestion system to work actively for the next 15 days. So, and especially the Vaishnavas are recommended to observe the fasting without eating any grains. So I hope most of you follow this Ekadashi Vrata. And most important, along with the fasting, is we spend the time very actively. Upavasa. Upavasa means upa matlab you very close. Vasa matlab you stay nearby. So upavasa is the time or this situation where you're close with the Lord and his representatives. And being close to them, what actually we try to do is that we focus on hearing more and chanting more. Okay, so I am very fortunate to be giving this class from Sridham Mayapur, and now Gaur Purnima festival is coming, and I could see this. The Gaur Purnima is a very special time. From Nityan Trayodasi to Gaur Purnima is a very special time where devotees from all over the world. In fact, in this 1 week of stay here, I saw many of my friends with whom I used to attend camp during my youth time. They are now brahmachari, they are different presidents of different temples. So getting to see them after a long time, I was just remembering those old days where I used to come for Mayapur for Utkarsha camp, my own attending camps, youth camps with them. So each one of us also can take this benefit. Benefit of this particular time of Nityantadishta Gaur Purnima. If not this year, you could make it out. Next year, you try to make out time. Come for a few days. Attend Kirtan Fest, Shravan Festival, Kirtan Mela, or Navadip Parikrama for 7 days. Like that, it's very rejuvenating. And this is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, that all the devotees all over the world unite together in Sridham Mayapur once a year, especially during the Gaur Purnima time. By coming here, you get a lot of inspiration. We are very, very fortunate now because we are able to observe many of the Prabhupada disciples who are still living. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Lokanath Swami Maharaj, Kavichandra Swami Maharaj, Dutta Prabhu. We have seen him recently. Rameshwaram Prabhu. Such devotees, they have given their life. Yaduvar Prabhu. We have got opportunity to hear from them about Srila Prabhupada. We saw how much dedicatedly they are serving, even though their age is, quite, restricting their physical body to support or things. Still, they are giving their energy and, extending for service. So you understand bhakti principle from devotees. That is the main spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So when I'm sharing all these things, this is very much related to Bhagavad Gita. Spirit could be understood from devotee. Without the touch of a devotee in one's life, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, you see very interestingly, when Krishna chose to spoke Bhagavad Gita, he had he had Arjuna in the front, and keeping Arjuna in the front, he spoke Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, it's very crucial that we help with the help and understanding of acharyas, we understand Bhagavad Gita very properly. Okay. So now we will be discussing in a brief the first two verses, recapitulating what we discussed in the last session, and we will go to the next 5 verses of the Gita Mahatmya, which is given by Adi Shankaracharya. So I am sharing here right now. You can see that. I'm supposed to share the screen, I suppose. Acha, I am not able to share. Why I am not able to share? Just wait, Haribol.
Prabhuji, I pasted in chat also. Like if it is fine, then we can see from there also.
Haribol, okay then. Fine. Let it be like that only. Okay. You in the chat you can all see, and please recite the first verse. Maybe Rajiv Prabhu, you only recite it, and then I will repeat it. Okay. So all devotees can watch in the chat box. He has given that entire 7 verses. We'll recite the first verse. Yes, Rajiv Prabhu, please recite the first verse.
Gita Shastram idam punyam yah pathet
Gita
prayata
Shastramidam Punyam
yah pathet prayata
Yapate
puman
Prayapuman
Vishnu padam avapnoti
Padamavapnoti
Bhaya Shuka Divarjita.
Ayashokadivarjitaha. Yeah. So in this particular verse, we saw three important, Bhaya Shokadi Varjita. Bhaya and Shoka. So he said, Gita Shastram Idam Punyam. This Shastra is considered very punya because just by coming in touch with this Shastra, which is like a sun, anything which comes in touch with the fire, sun is fiery, is it not? So anything which comes in touch with the fire, it gets purified. Uh, that's why in the Vedas, Agni is considered as one of the Sakshi. In marriages, or anytime any particular we do a puja, then the Agni is established first. The fire is established. Fire is considered pure. So the sun is a fiery globe. Okay, the sun is also kept as a sakshi. So Gita Shastra is considered one of the very pure. Therefore, you see nowadays, not nowadays, from the beginning of the constitution, in court, people are told to keep their promise, their promise on the Gita. So Gita Shastra idam punyam. Yap patet prayat puman. The one who is a human being, who is, see, the fact that you received a human form of life shows that your consciousness is different from that of an animal. See, animal's consciousness is at max, it can go to the level of thinking about four things. All of you know that. The four things are ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The animal consciousness can focus on these four things only. It cannot go beyond that. But in human being, that consciousness can be further taken a level where he can understand, or he can at least check. He can start thinking about why am I suffering? The concept of why am I suffering in this matter? So, or why am I enjoying like this only? Why am I having limited enjoyment? मेरे लिए इतना ही आनंद है क्या? अरे इतना खुशी है, अरे मेरा सैलरी इतना, अरे इतना ही सैलरी से कैसे चलेगा? We try to compare also, no, comparing aspect also there that animals don't have. अरे ये आदमी इतना बड़े हैं, हम तो इतना छोटे हैं, कैसे ऐसा कैसे है? भगवान ने क्या कर दिया? Thus so we are questioning our sufferings. We are not directly questioning, अरे why I am suffering like this, but in comparison actually you are expressing your suffering situation. In comparing with others, you are actually venting out your heart about how much suffering you are going through, seeing others happiness more than your happiness. So this particular thinking aspect is there only in human beings, it's not in animals. We have to very much be clear about it. ये जो सोच है ना, मैं इतना दुख क्यों हूँ, इतना खुशी, जब खुशी ज्यादा होता है ना, इमीडिएटली डर आता है, ये खुशी कब तक रहेगा मेरे साथ? How long I will be happy? Will it go after some time? So why you get this thought? The animals don't get this thought. When they're enjoying, they're blind, completely blind to the realities. And only when hurdle comes, immediately they try to escape from it. They think, "Arey, why I'm being deprived of that enjoyment?" They don't think at all like that. It's only humans who think about the fearful bhaya shoka. The bhaya shoka aspect is very strongly perceived in the consciousness of a human being. And why this Bhaya is strongly perceived more than the animals is because the human consciousness, which is supposed to think about, think about higher subject than eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Our consciousness is supposed to, with our consciousness, we are supposed to think more than eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. मान लीजिए ये चार छोड़ के if you start thinking about higher things, what is the purpose of my life? Why I am just spending 60 or 70 years like that? At the age of 70, one start thinking, अरे मैं इतना कुछ कमाया है, इतना कुछ enjoy किया, अभी क्या है? What is next? This thought को, when you don't answer this genuine thinking, na, then you start repenting your entire living what you did. So it's very crucial that our life should not just go ahead in just engaging in animalistic activities. People spend. You ask in a day how you spend your time. Most of the time, we see that you categorize them either in eating, either we may be eating very some special items, or we are recreating with others in facilitating the eating aspect, or sleeping, or we are having parties with many people and focusing on the concept of mating principle, or we are defending from others. So consciously, if we see that our time is engaged in these four things, but here in Bhagavad Gita, it said that Gita Shastramidam Punyam et Patet Prayatuma. This is the second aspect we discussed, that how it's human beings, the human being has that particular ability by which he can actually open up this book and read. If you give this book to any animal, no, it hardly will, it will smell it whether it is eatable or not. Only to that extent it will do. It's only human being who not only he can take in the hand, we can open it and try to understand the principles which are given in that. Which principles speak not about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but this principle speak the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita is beyond eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. तो सिर्फ आहार निद्रा भय मैथुन को फोकस करने किताबों तो हमने पूरा जीवन भर तो पढ़ा है, उसके ऊपर रिसर्च भी कर रहे हैं हम लोग। आहार निद्रा भय मैथुन हम लोग पीएचडी करते हैं उसमें और डॉक्टरेट भी लेते हैं। उसके बाद फर्दर हम लोग उसको लेके हम दूसरों को मदद करने के लिए बिजनेस को एक्सपैंड भी करते हैं। तो हम देखेंगे मोस्ट ऑफ आवर एजुकेशन फोकस ऑन दिस फोर थिंग्स। Beyond this, any concept of why I am in this particular body, how why I am restricted to live only for certain years, what will happen after death. Recently one devotee scientist came here, is Dhrita Karma Prabhu. All of you know very important one book which is released many years back, Forbidden Archaeology. He's a scientist in the world of science. He was a scientist, and he has done many interviews, and Prabhupada very appreciates him for his wonderful activities which he did. So he personally was mentioning nowadays the science is really thinking about the concept of consciousness. See, they have answers for what is consciousness and how the consciousness works, but they don't have the answer to why that consciousness is there like that. In the why question, they got obstructed. So therefore, the why questions are answered in Bhagavad Gita. This is a very, very important principle to understand. So, and then the third thing is mentioned in this particular shloka is Bhaya Shokadi Varjitaha. One who reads the Bhagavad Gita with the important principle of understanding why I am like this, why am I here in this material world, why I am in this particular situation, why am I suffering, why I have to die, and what will happen after the death, why I have to go through all these particular things. Such answers are given to such questions, answers are given in Bhagavad Gita. And one who reads Bhagavad Gita, what happens is becomes free from Bhaya and Shoka. Bhaya Shoka. Bhaya is about the future and Shoka is about the past. So that's how you see most of the times human beings spend their time. Either they are fearful about the future or they are lamenting about their past. And the subject matter of their fear or lamentation is most focused on this principle of not understanding why am I suffering or why I'm fearing like that. So because they don't understand the reality of this world and their own connection with this world as a human beings, what is the real connection? Because not understanding this principle, people are fearful and people are lamenting. People are lamenting because they focus, as a human being, they're like Mercedes. Mercedes has a specific purpose for which it is made. And you have to use the Mercedes for using on the highways. And tractor has a specific purpose. It has to be used in the fields. But if you take the Mercedes and use in the fields, and take the tractor and ride on a highways to go from Mumbai to Delhi. So it's not very compatible, and it is very, very disgusting and dissatisfying. So human body is meant for a specific purpose. Along with maintaining the body, one should focus on uh, utilizing the purpose for which this body is given to you. See, each of your devotees who are any activity which you are doing in your life, whether it is studies, whether it is a research, whether it is you are maintaining your family, whether doing a job or relating with friends, something, you have some purpose for which you are doing, is it not? So with all these purposes intact in your life, you should also focus on the purpose of human life. When you're given this human body, there is a purpose for which. For example, cows. uh, Like considering cow as one of the animal, if you see, it has some specific purpose. Dogs have specific purpose. Elephants have specific purpose. They know that and they are very good at it. But what is human being purpose? The purpose could be understood only when we refer to Bhagavad Gita. The real purpose. We can make many purposes, many things as our purposes, and then prove ourselves in that particular field. However, the reality is that death shows the naked truth in front. The death brings out the reality very prominently. How the purpose for which you lived all lifelong is become futile at the time of death. Therefore, it's crucial we make the purpose for which human body is given as our main purpose. That purpose is to understand why am I suffering, why I have to go to all this such lamentation and fear. Let me get out of it. For that, one has to take the reference of Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita helps the individual. So each one of you who are attending, it's very crucial that you read Bhagavad Gita with this purpose in the mind. Uh, the purpose is we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we have a connection with God, Krishna. And with that God, Krishna. And that connection is eternal. Krishna is eternal, and we as a soul are eternal. And therefore, our connection is eternal. And to revive that eternal connection, one has to understand the the what you call the dynamic relationship which we have with the Lord, and how to attain how to revive that connection back is the process which is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So by referring to Bhagavad Gita, actually you are systematically understanding the process, the knowledge and the process, both are understood from the Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge of the soul, knowledge of the relationship with the God and the soul, and the process by which you can attain the God is all given in the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, it is mentioned that one should recite it daily. So the Mahatma Shankaracharya Bhagavad Gita Mahatma second verse speaks about this particular thing. So I request Rajiv Prabhu, please read the second verse. Please recite the second verse. Hare Krishna. Devotees can observe in the chat box. Okay. So Rajiv Prabhu, can you recite the second verse?
गीताध्यायनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरास्य
Recite. Give me. I will also repeat after you. You recite one. Okay.
ध्यानशीलस्य
गीता ध्यानाय शीलस्य
प्राणायामपरास्य
प्राणामाया प्रयास च
नैव शान्तिः पापानि
विशान्ति पापानि
पूर्वजन्म कृतानि च
पूर्वजन्म कृतानि च. These are the two principles which are explained in this particular result. How one should recite the Bhagavad Gita. See, Gita Dhanyaya. Dhyana. Matlab, with sincerity, with attention. With attention, one should read. So I was reading one definition of sincerity. Sincerity is what? Sincerity means you are highlighting the value for which the thing, the process which you know, because you are sincere with other person, or you are sincere in reading Bhagavad Gita. That means you are highlighting the value of that particular object very much in your life. When you highlight the value of the other person, that means you are sincere with it. So, so for that, it's very crucial that we do seriously. Sincerity is retained by seriousness. Okay. Uh, Sincerely, you are reading Bhagavad Gita is like, just like I quoted the story of South Indian Brahmana, uh, to whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went. Uh, he went and met in South India in Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram, or it is in, I think, Srirangam. He goes on his way, and then there he meets the South Indian Brahmana who was ordered by his guru to read Bhagavad Gita, to recite Bhagavad Gita. He was illiterate. He doesn't know how to write and read. However, because he got instruction, he was just opening the book and reading the Bhagavad Gita, and everyone is making joke out of him. Acha, Chandrasekhar Prabhu is not able to see the chat. I think it's there in the chat box, Prabhu. You go little above, you will see the entire sloka which is given by. It was sent by Rajiv Prabhu. The text you sent to everyone, Prabhuji. Rajiv.
Probably those who joined late, they may not be able to see. I will reshare, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. You reshare it. So that Brahmana, he received, no, because he received the instruction from his guru, he started reading, and that time the Mahaprabhu reaches there. And when Mahaprabhu reached there, he asked the South Indian Brahmana, "Why are you crying?" He said, my guru told me to read this. My guru told me to read Bhagavad Gita. I'm not able to understand anything, but the image of Krishna, all of you know, no? In Bhagavad Gita, there is an image in which Krishna is riding the chariot, which was driven by the four horses, four white horses, and Arjuna was standing behind. And Krishna turned towards him and is speaking Bhagavad Gita to him. So he said that how Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita and trying to uplift Arjuna, but in the service to Arjuna, Krishna has taken a charioteer role, a driver role. For example, your own professor or your own teacher, he comes and tells, okay, I will take you. I will take you to, what do you call, I will take you on a ride. And himself sitting on the driver cabin and he's taking you ahead. So it's like that. Krishna taken the role of a driver for Arjuna, irrespective of being the mentor for him, irrespective of being the professor for him in the life. Bhagavad Gita is not just a book. It is the book for life. It is the book which will give the way of life and way out of life. Uh, uh, so, how to live in this life properly as a human being, for which we are given this human body, the purpose for which we are given, and how to go out of this material world. Both things are explained very meticulously in Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna is the author of that, and he himself has become now what, a driver for Arjuna. He has taken a very menial role, not only helping his student Arjuna, but also taken a very subservient role to help the student in his duty in the society. See how much Krishna is, Therefore, it said that Krishna will surely come to help his devotees, to restore his devotees back to the principle of dharma, uh, or keep them protected from the adharma which is going around. Uh, He will surely come, but one requires such dedication and devotion, just like the Arjuna what he has. And when any devotee expresses his dedication and devotion in that way, Krishna becomes a subservient to the devotee, and he will play such a role which you can not even imagine in the life of the devotee. He becomes a subservient. He is the only one who is accompanying each one of us. So it takes, uh, in order to help us, Krishna is really taking many steps. Just to give an example, like we have crossed many lifetimes. This from the concept of soul. You have to understand this. We have gone through many lives and we have come to this human body. So the Paramatma, Krishna is standing as Paramatma within our heart. Not only in this life, in the earlier lives also. The only family member who is accompanying you throughout your lives and lives and lives is Krishna. He is the only family member who is accompanying you. Other family members, they say hi at your birthday and they say bye at your birthday at that day. That's how it happens. They welcome you on your birthday and they send you on the death day. Only family members come help during that particular, but only one family member who comes always for our help, always with accompanying us is Krishna. So this very much attracted him. The South Indian Brahmana, even though he's not understanding Gita, he was very much moved by the reciprocation of Krishna with Arjuna. And because of that, because he was heartily moved, he was crying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really appreciated him. Yes, you understood Bhagavad Gita. You understood the essence of it. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is devotion. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita can only be understood by a devotee. Okay, these two things are very important. Whenever we are reading Bhagavad Gita, these two principles always keep intact. Okay, the spirit of entire Bhagavad Gita, whatever shloka you may read, whatever links we try to establish in our study of Bhagavad Gita, which we'll do every week. So in that the spirit is devotion. Krishna is trying to establish how devotion is the process by which you can revive your connection with Krishna, with him. Okay. And second principle is this devotional principle can only be understood when you read from a devotee. That means only when we take shelter of the Prabhupada purports. Srila Prabhupada's purports are transcendental. Srila Prabhupada did a magic. What is the magic he did? He has given Bhagavad Gita as it is. He did never became a barrier in between Krishna and the receiver. The speaker and the receiver. He never became a barrier in between. Most of the times we are concerned about the data flow from your bank to you. So nobody should come in between. There's always a security. We always look for security and safety in every aspect of life, whether it's WhatsApp or whether it is Zoom or always this cautions come. Okay, now be careful. Your information will not be shared with anyone. You maintain the confidentiality. Confidentiality is being highlighted very much. And the best confidentiality which assured between Krishna and us is Srila Prabhupada. He assured that confidentiality. He maintained that secrecy, or he maintained that transparency between Krishna and us. Therefore, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is understood only by a devotee, and the spirit is devotion. So this is very important. Gita dhyanasya shilasya. So one has to recite it in that way. So when we say seriousness, what is seriousness? Seriousness means we make a priority. Okay. Sincerity is about valuing the object. Okay. And seriousness is about making it a priority. So In Bhagavad Gita, in one particular chapter, the three kinds of happinesses are mentioned. Sattva Sukha, Rajas Sukha, Tamas Sukha. Happiness is divided as mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And the mode of ignorance or passion, the mode of passion, Sukha, happiness is nectarian in the beginning, but it is poisoning at the end. It looks very nectarian. Most of the present world happiness which is being promised by outside world in the form of meat, meat shops, whether it is KFC or whatever, or through liquor shops, or through brothels, or through the entertainment, which is available everywhere. They are very promising because they are nectarian in the beginning. Because they give little nectar of happiness, you get attached to it. But rest assured, in the conclusion of that happiness is only suffering. In fact, this is the experience of most of the people. It's not about devotees. Everyone experiences this. But the attachment to the happiness which they received in the beginning, will keep them continue to suffer more and more. People continue to suffer. They don't mind suffering because they're getting the. This is happiness in mode of passion. And happiness in mode of goodness is what? It is very poison in the beginning. It looks very austere in the beginning. For example, like we are in the Sridham Mayapur, every day morning 4:30 is the Mangalarti. So from our accommodation here, we have to leave at 4 o'clock. That means we have to get ready by 3 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4. So it's very austere, quite cold here in this village of Sridham Mayapur. Quite cold and people feel okay, अरे इतना दूर है तो relax करेंगे. तो relax करने में क्या होता है? Relax करने में you feel like very happiness, happiness in the beginning, but it will be poisoning because you will miss entire morning program. You will miss the darshan of the deities. You will miss the Gaur Arati, Guru Puja. You will miss the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Arati. And all these things, devotees can, people can miss those all experiences. And further, Mayapur means come and eat and go. That is what they will feel. Acha Govinda say there. They'll remember Govindas more than Govinda. They don't remember Radha Madhav. They'll remember Govindas. So because that experience which people will have is based on the passionate lifestyle. So when goodness life means what? Little austerities. You get up in the morning. It's very healthy also actually. Before sun wakes up, you wake up. It's not that after sun wakes up and you become quite heated up, then you get up. Then when sun is heated up and you get up, your health will not cooperate. You'll go through so many difficulties. So before sun rises, one should rise. And when you get this looks very austere, very cold and thing, but it will give a lot of opportunity of promising happiness, which will be very pleasing to mind and heart. So it's very crucial that sattva guna happiness we should try to spend time with. Rajasic happiness is very very discouraging, or it is very energy consuming, and it will distracting a person from his goal of his life. Such things happen with the rajasic happiness. And the third happiness is tamasic happiness. And tamasic happiness is it's suffering in the beginning also and suffering at the end also. It's neither good for them nor good for others. Like drug addicts, especially nowadays, youths are getting very much attracted to drugs. This is very dangerous. The drugs spoil their life, not only their life, Baba. खुद की लाइफ नहीं, पूरा परिवार, सब रिलेशनशिप, सब करियर, सब कुछ बर्बाद हो जाता है. So one should focus from Bhagavad Gita. The kind of happiness is sattva guna happiness. Therefore, we should rise early. Rise early, take bath, make this an habit. See, once you make this an habit, you don't repent in the future uh, for wasting my human energy. I become old and invalid. You don't become invalid. I'm seeing here so many proper disciples who are more than 75. They come for morning Mangalarti at 4 o'clock and they dance, they jump and dance. How they doing? Today morning I saw Bhakti Marg Maharaj in Prabhupada Samadhi. He was jumping and dancing. Sukadev Maharaj is quite older. He's more than 74. Uh, he's dancing, jumping, and doing Kirtan Mangalarti. How they retain their health is because of their goodness lifestyle. The lifestyle is very good. To get up early in the morning, refresh themselves, and focus on chanting in the early morning hours. So much encouraging, is it not? And then they go for other works in their life. So in this way, one should be serious. When you maintain such lifestyle, Bhagavad Gita reading will be very much helpful. Okay. Now I request Rajiv Prabhu, please recite the third verse. Hare Krishna. Third verse.
Maline mochanam pumsham
Paline mochanam pumsam
jalasnanam dine dine
lasnanam dine dine
sakrit gitamrita snanam
sakrit gitamrita snanam
shamsharamalanashanam.
samsaramala nashanam. So Shankaracharya in the Gita Mahatmya verse number 3, he speaks about, he giving analogy. What is the analogy is giving here? Maline mochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine. It's very simple to understand. Malina, matlab when your body becomes dirty, what you do, Pumsa? The Vyakti, what he does? Immediately he goes and takes bath. Jalasnanam dine dine. By taking regular bath, daily, every day bath, what happens? The, the bodily dirt, external uncleaned contamination which is there, that gets washed off. Not that one day I take and then 7 days I give a gap. That type of life is not very good. Because sometimes you get so much skin infections and very, it's very badly smelling body. You may cover up with perfume, but it will not help for a long time. Only by water. Water is a very important principle. Water cleans. It refreshes your mind very much. It refreshes the mind. But here what he's speaking is Maline Mochana Pumsa, Jalasnanam Dine Dine, Sakrit Gitamra Snanam, Samsara Malanashanam. Samsara Mala. Samsara Mala means what? The contaminated heart. See, our heart is very pure. When you're as a child, when you take birth, you're very pure. You love everyone. You smile at everyone. When you cry openly. But as you grow more in your age, you see that you don't smile at everyone. You're very skeptical about certain people, and you are revengeful about certain people. And we are angry with someone. We're happy with someone. We are quite alarmed with someone. And then we don't cry openly. We maintain, हम अंदर में रो रहे हैं, but बाहर दिखाते हैं बहुत अच्छा है. So why this? Because there is a contamination of heart happened. Samsara mala. By staying in the samsara, what is happening daily and daily, the heart is getting dirty and dirty. Because it's not that you want to become dirty, but the material world is made like that. A Dukkalaya. In this Dukkalaya, people are trying to secure their own position. And while trying to secure their own position, people do a lot of hypocritic lifestyles, hypocritic dealings. And such dealings and those things naturally contaminate our heart. And when the heart is getting contaminated, what you are doing with it? When body gets contaminated, you are taking bath regularly and maintaining it nicely. But what about your heart is getting contaminated? How you clean it? Therefore, it is called Gita Amrita, Sakrit Gita Amrita Snanam. The Gita is compared to like taking bath. So every day we should take bath with Bhagavad Gita, by which our heart becomes clean. People are atheistic actually. In the world right now, no, who comes in this material world is people who are envious of Krishna. And if they don't want to accept their envious, they say they're atheistic. Simple, na? People don't want to say, I am envious of God. They simply say that there's no God. They say that there's no God only. In fact, why I should feel that I have envy? I don't have envy. There's no God at all. So people are atheistic or envious of God. And this is the first thing which happens. And sometimes in order to show in the world that they are very pious and things, people become ritualistic. If not atheistic, people are ritualistic. And in the being ritualistic, people hardly focus on understanding the rituals of why they are doing it. And unfortunately, in the modern education, and they focused so much in a particular way of studying or knowledge acquiring. The question why question is being stopped. Why ka jaruri nahi? What and how? How to get it? How to do this? What is this and how to do it? Why I am supposed to do? Why I have to do this? Why I'm told to do earn money? Why I'm told to get married? Why I'm told to this? Questions you should ask properly. Try to understand them with a proper spirit. That they don't do. Why the why question is completely taken away out of intelligence. So therefore, it's crucial that from childhood we should encourage people to focus on reading scripture, because in the scripture the why questions are answered. And this principle has to be taken very seriously. So dirt in the heart is very subtle. The contamination which is being formed because of living in this world is very subtle. And for the subtle contamination to be taken out, one has to take the help of Bhagavad Gita. Just by being atheistic or envious, and if not atheistic, by being a ritualistic in life, you can actually never come to any conclusion of your life. And never you'll make a best benefit of your human body, human life. One should go little more beyond that. One should start understanding the purpose by taking the help of Bhagavad Gita and get rid of all the contamination. In this way, the verse 3 speaks about a very important principle. As I mentioned, the verse 1 speaks about how being a human being, it's our need to read Bhagavad Gita. And second, how to recite the Bhagavad Gita seriously and sincerely. And the third one speaks about that how Bhagavad Gita has to be recited daily. It's a regulated activity, just like you eat every day and maintain your physical health. Similarly, we should read Bhagavad Gita daily to keep your spiritual intelligence stout. And now, Shankaracharya speaks on the fourth Mahatma, the glory of Bhagavad Gita, in the verse number 4, where he says this book is all in all. You need not to go to any other book. अरे प्रभु, मैं एक कुछ पढ़ाई करने के लिए 4 साल की डिग्री प्राप्त करने के लिए 4 साल, हर एक साल में लगभग 10 या फिर 12 किताब पढ़ना पड़ता है. ऐसा पढ़ने के बाद डिग्री प्राप्त होता है. Is it same way with spiritual life also? So Shankaracharya said, no, one book is sufficient. You just focus on this one book, you'll get, people who attend the 6 session courses, 6 days sessions, which are designed from Bhagavad Gita, people get a basic understanding of spiritual life, which, frankly speaking, even a big philosophers, on Bhagavad Gita, who doing research on Bhagavad Gita, cannot understand. There are many scientists who are trying to do Bhagavad Gita research, many fields, but they are not able to understand. Recently, we had a meeting. In that meeting, there was a discussion about how there is a need of devotees doing research in the religious subjects. This scope is open. Many of the universities are open to this scope. If most of you, like here who are sitting, if you are eager to do some PhD or any research work, try to do on religious studies and then take the Bhagavad Gita. By doing that now, actually the value of Bhagavad Gita and by taking because by being a devotee, already you know what is to be researched. What is ultimate solution, what is supposed to come, that you know. But by taking the help of PhD and things, now you can actually give the benefit to many people. This is my it's a kind request from my side as a part of ISKCON GBC body. If any of you are interested to do some research work in the field of religion and philosophy, you must do it. As a service, you can do it. It will certainly give a high to your status, but also it will help in establishing the dharma, Sanatan dharma, in a very profound way. Unfortunately, Hinduism is become very academically become very backgrounded. It's Buddhism, you know. According to the state, the world has around 7% population who are Buddhist, and around 15% are Hindus, and around 33% are Christians, and 29% are Muslims. That is the static. But if you see, academically, anyone refers to religion when they say Asian religion means Buddhism, because even though the 7%, they are very quite small number Buddhism, but many of them done research on the Buddhist philosophy. When it comes to Vaishnava philosophy, the Vedic philosophy, Sanatan Dharma, hardly few have done. And being a devotee, if all any of you take up this task, giving some of your years, 3 to 4 years of research into religion and philosophy, it can really help a lot of. So this is very important. Everything is there in this book. So I request Rajiv Bro, please recite that verse. Verse number 4.
Gita Sugita Kartavya
Gita Sugita Kartavya
Kimanya Shastra Vistare
Imana Shastra Vistara hai
Yashvayam Padmanabhasya
Swayam Padmanabhasya
Mukha Padma Vinisrita.
Mukha Padma Vinishritaha. कहते हैं गीता सुगीता. This Gita is the only the Gita. And this has spoken by whom? As Padmanabha Mukasya. Padmanabha. Nabha matlab navel. Padma matlab lotus. Whose navel gives the impression of a lotus. Or from whose navel the lotus sprouted out. That is Padmanabha. That is Vishnu. Mahavishnu, when is lying on the Karana ocean, on the Garbhodaka ocean, from his navel, one lotus comes out, and then on the Brahma takes birth. This all creation is explained in the Bhagavatam, which we are doing in the morning sessions. So this particular Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Padmanabha, that is Vishnu. The creator himself spoken this Bhagavad Gita. The creator of this human body has given the manual. Who can give the best manual in our life? The best manual for our yantra, this body, human body is yantra. Yantra Rudani Mayaya. This is a machine. And you have to know the manual. You have to take the reference of the manual for best utilizing the human body. And that possibility is given in the that aspect, that manual is Bhagavad Gita itself, because the creator himself gave that. So this manual alone is sufficient. You don't have to go to any other, You don't have to refer to other books and anything. This manual alone is sufficient. So that is what being highlighted here. So you have very less time, and your energy is quite diverse. So better you give morning hours to read Bhagavad Gita regularly, and this alone is sufficient. You get all the knowledge. अरे प्रभु सिर्फ गीता से हो जाएगा? ये गीता पढ़ने के बाद पता चलता है कि गीता नहीं और कुछ किताब है, इम्पोर्टेंट है, इसके ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. So in order to establish Bhagavad Gita is the only Bhagavad Gita is the only important. He gives the next verse, fifth verse. He glorifies the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, please recite the fifth verse of Mahatma.
भारतमित्र सर्वस्वं
Bharata. You can recite again it loudly.
भारतामृत सर्वस्वं
Bharatamrita sarvasvam
विष्णुवक्त्राद विनिस्तृतं
Vishnu Bhakta Vinishritam
गीता गंगोदकां पीत्वा
Gita Gangodakam Pitva
पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते.
Janmana Vidyate. See, Vedoktam. The Vedas are compared to like in a big ocean. Like all of you know the story of Samudra. No, when Asuras and Suras, the demigods and the demons are trying to churn the Mandara mountain in a milk ocean in order to get the nectar out. So the entire Vedas are compared like a big ocean. And the Gita, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of it. See, at one particular time, Bhagavad Gita is not kept in the reach of common people. Not Bhagavad Gita, Vedas. Vedas are not kept in the reach of common people. You know the story, very wonderful story comes in the Ramayana. So Ram was ruling the Ramarajya after he got back Sita and things. And suddenly one day, the bell in front of his Raja rang loudly. And Lord Ram came out. The bell is kept for people to express their grievances. The grievances in front of the Lord. So one old Brahmana came in front of the Lord Ram and paid obeisances, and he said, "Oh Lord Ram, I think there is some flaw in your way that you are ruling the kingdom." So he directly questioned being a Brahmana with great respect. Only he questioned the Ram. There is some flaw in your Ramarajya, in the way you are ruling the kingdom. He said, "How there could be flaw? What happened?" He said, "I have abruptly lost my son." See, Akala Mrityu. Akala Mrityu is nowadays very common. Suddenly people die. The young, energetic, and suddenly they die. Akala Mrityu it is called. Generally, a person dies at a particular age, old age he comes, and then very peacefully sitting or he's doing some bhajan, and then in that he leaves the body. Nowadays, Akala Mrityu. Suddenly people die. So his son, even though young, he died before himself. Okay. The old Brahmana became very worried. Akala Mrityu is happening in our kingdom. That means there is some flaw in the way you are ruling the kingdom. Too many Akala Mrityus happen. That is the flaw of that particular place, of the person who is ruling the kingdom. That's how the Vedas point out the responsibility of the king. It's not pointing faults, it's pointing out that how a king should be responsible. So Lord Ram immediately had a meeting with all his ministers. So in the meeting, the ministers went around and searched everywhere. Where is the flaw? What is the actually going wrong? And they observed one Shudra. Shudra means by nature, he was only interested in eating and sleeping and mating. He had no other interest in his life. Such people are called as Shudra. When I'm saying Shudra, don't just go by caste and things. Okay, the caste system and the Varnashrama system are both are different. The caste system is the basically a outcome of the modern materialistic frustrated views. But the Vedas speak about Varnashrama. In the Varnashrama, the Shudra person is more focused on only his eating, sleeping, and mating. And in order to maintain his body and family for that purpose, he does work under the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Shudra. So one Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. So this Shudra, what he was doing, he was sitting on a tree upside down. He was sitting on a tree upside down and reading the Shastras. Somehow he got to the Shastras, the written Shastras in written particular place were kept. He was trying to recite them. When he was questioned why you are doing that, he said, "No, I am trying to do austerities in reading Bhagavad Gita, in reading Shastras, because I overheard by reciting Shastras, by doing austerities, you gain a lot of power." So then immediately ministers came back to Lord Ram and reported him that the Shudra, without understanding for what Bhagavad Gita is, Shastras are meant for, he is just reading them. For example, if the knife is in the hand of a doctor, it will protect the life, or it will protect the life which is going away. But the same knife is in the hand of a madman. What he will do? He may harm himself or he may harm others also. So Shastras are like that knife. And it has to be utilized, it has to be used, understood and used by those people who are having that caliber. Person who is interested only in eating, sleeping, and not even taking the help of any preceptor in his life. He's just taking the Shastra and trying to read it and knowledge. It will be very harmful to the society. And because of this incident only, that Akala Mrityu happened. Immediately, Lord Ram stopped him, the Shudra. He objected him not to read that particular Shastra. So Vyasdev, considering the Kali Yuga people, no, अभी Kali Yuga people तो interest ही नहीं रहेगा, उनको पढ़ने का इच्छा भी नहीं रहेगा, और क्या है कि availability भी नहीं है, so कैसे उन लोग के पास पहुंचाना है? Therefore, Vyasdev, what he did? He has written all the scriptures with the help of his 6-7 disciples. He wrote all the scriptures, and after writing all the scriptures, he realized only with the help of a Brahmana, very learned Brahmana and a Vaishnava, can people understand the essence of this Shastra. But now, when it will happen, it won't happen immediately. So therefore, in order to help the Sudra mentality people who are interested in eating, sleeping, and politics, for them he has written Mahabharata. Because Mahabharata is such a literature which can be read by everyone. And everyone can take benefit of reading and reciting that Mahabharata. And in that Mahabharata, in the conclusion of the Mahabharata, he kept Bhagavad Gita. See, such a amazing mind setup, you see, Vyasdev. He's trying to not neglect Shudra type of people, or who are focusing on only eating and sleeping. Rather, is concerned about them. And how he's trying to help them? By giving them a literature which they can be very much attracted to. Because in Mahabharata, there are a lot of politics, lot of hunting, killing, murder, women hunting, all these things are there. People start reading the Mahabharata, and while reading Mahabharata, and the end the Mahabharata comes, then the Bhagavad Gita is kept. The discussion between Krishna and Arjuna. And this Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. All the books are on one side, and Bhagavad Gita is on one side. All the books written by Vedas, you keep on the weighing balance on one side and Bhagavad Gita on the other side. It will weigh parallel, it will be balanced. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence. And he kept Bhagavad Gita at the end. Vedas, through Mahabharata, he gave the medicine, Bhagavad Gita. Just like children, they don't want to take the medicine. They have to be recovered. And how the mother gives? She will take the medicine and keep in one laddu and make the child eat it. Same way, Vyasdev, what he did? He gave Mahabharata, which is like a laddu. And in that laddu, what he kept? He kept Bhagavad Gita, which is like a medicine. By reading the Bhagavad Gita, and while reading Mahabharata also, they see the character Krishna, the personality Krishna coming in front. Therefore, it's very crucial that when you read Bhagavad Gita sincerely and seriously, Krishna reveals himself. The God reveals himself through the pages of Bhagavad Gita. And when God reveals, you get full clarity. Your heart becomes pure, mind becomes clear, and you can actually perform activities which are meant as a human being. As a human being can perform the activities. So in this way, the fifth verse speaks very amazingly about. So Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva ved. Hare Krishna. Yeah. The main purpose for which Bhagavad Gita is spoken is to inspire the devotion in the heart of Arjuna. And with that devotion, he wanted Arjuna to fight and perform his duty, his responsibility as a Kshatriya. So, this purpose of devotion and spirit of devotion could be understood only when we read Bhagavad Gita. And entire Vedas speak on they directly point to Krishna, and Bhagavad Gita speaks only on Krishna. So it's very interesting fact. Therefore, considering this principle of how the essence of all the scriptures is Bhagavad Gita, so what we should do? Just read that book alone. That's what he's telling here, Shankaracharya. Just by taking the help of this particular Gita alone, Gita Amrita, Gita Amrita. Amrita means nectar. It is churned out from the ocean of Vedas. It is churned out from the ocean of Vedas and is given. And Gangodaka. Another example, analogy given in this particular verse 5 is Bhagavad Gita is compared like a Ganga. So Ganga is very pure. I am very fortunate here in Sridham Mayapur. It's covered on all sides by Ganga. So Shastras mentioned that Ganga may look dirty, but the water is very pure. Even scientifically also, this is proven. The Ganga water is very pure. So Bhagavad Gita is like pure thing. And by taking shelter of this Gangodaka, this particular, which is the essence of entire rivers, the Ganga. Like the senses of all Veda, the Bhagavad Gita, one can get purified. So, and how you taste the Bhagavad Gita? Through your ears. Through your ears, you should taste the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. And then heart gets purified. So now I request Rajiv Prabhu, recite the next 6th verse. Where, okay, Bhagavad Gita I need to study. This is the essence of the Vedas. But why this Bhagavad Gita is spoken many places? That means this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke to Surya Bhagavan, Vivashwan also. And many other places the Gita aspect has come. The knowledge of God is there. But why only this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna? Why not others? He answers in the verse number 6. Yeah, Rajiv Prabhu, please recite.
Sarvopanishado gavo.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it. Can you?
Sarvopanishado gavo.
Sarvopanishada gavo.
Dugdha gopala nandana.
Dokta Gopala Nandana.
Partho vatsa sudhir bhakto. Bhokta
Ardhovatsa Sudhir Bhokta.
dugdam gitamritam mahat.
Ugdam Gitamritam Mahat. Very interesting. This particular verse gives a very nice analogy. Shankaracharya gives a very nice analogy here. He compares entire Vedas to be like A cow. Initially compared entire Vedas like an ocean and Bhagavad Gita to be the nectar. That nectar is Ganga. Ganga is the nectar of it. Okay. Like that he compared. And in this analogy, he is comparing entire Vedas to be cow. Sarva Upanishada Gavo. All the Upanishad Vedas are compared like a cow. And then he says, Dogda Gopalanandana. And the milkman, the cowherd boy who is milking that cow is compared to Nandana. Nandana. Who is Nandanandan? Krishna. He is the son of Nanda Maharaj. And then he says, third thing, Pardho Sudhir Bhokta. Pardho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. He is comparing Arjuna to be like a calf, which is drinking the milk. So this is a very beautiful analogy and very nice. See, a cow gives milk only when there is a calf. Is it not? Only when calf drinks sufficient milk, the cow allows the human being to take the other rest of the milk. So, and who is milking the cow? The milkman. So the Vedas are like a cow, and Krishna, what he is doing? Is taking the essence of the Vedas, which is milk. The essence of the cow is the milk. Similarly, the essence of the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. Is taking out. It's only Krishna who is the creator of this universe and creator of all of us, and creator of spiritual world, and created the process by which you can go back to spiritual world. He can only take out the process out properly. He's taking out the manual, that the milk, which is very, very crucial for us. This Bhagavad Gita is very, very crucial for us. He's taking out that essence from the cow, the Vedas. And what he's doing after that? After taking out, first, Krishna is allowing the calf to drink. The milkman, for him is very important. What is important for him? Before taking out the milk, he should allow the calf to drink milk. I have seen in Goshala, personal experience also. We have Kalindi, and she has a daughter, Lakshmi. So in order to get out the milk from Kalindi has more than like 7-8 liters of milk it can give. And the calf can only drink hardly as the calf grows, the amount of milk it takes also reduces. So now based on the calf's age, it takes around 1 liter out of the 8 liters. So first you have to allow the calf to drink. Then what happens? The cow will allow the milk to go down. And in this way, after the calf takes, then we take the calf away, and you take out the remaining milk, which is already came in the udder. So it's essential for Bhagavad Gita to be spoken to Arjuna, because Krishna considers Arjuna to be his dearest devotee. Bhakta, he considers him to be very close to his heart. When somebody is very close to your heart, now you tell everything which is beneficial and openly without any secrets in heart. Therefore, Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna is considered most important, because here Krishna did not keep any reservations. He did not keep any reservations. That's a very interesting fact. Okay? And therefore, this particular conversation between Krishna and Arjuna is important. Okay. Now, after speaking this, then he comes to a very important principle. In this material Hinduism, in this Sanatana Dharma, there are many gods and many religions are there. So how to address this? Why you are telling Krishna only? Why only Bhagavad Gita? This he answers in the last Gita Mahatmya 7th verse. So Shankaracharya. So Rajiv Prabhu, please recite it. This
Ekam
will conclude.
Sastram Devaki Putra Geetam.
Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam.
Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva.
Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva.
Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani.
Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Yani.
Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva.
Api Ekamasya Devasya Seva. Very interesting. He says four things which are very, very important. Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. He said there is only one religion, there is only one book which you have to refer. So many books are not required. Eko Shastram. What is that? Devaki Putra Geetam. Devaki Putra, who is that? Krishna. And Krishna's Gita, Bhagavad Gita. And then he says, why only Krishna Gita? Why not others Gita, Rudra Gita? Nahi? Why not any other Gita? He says, because Eko Deva, who is that? What he said the second line? Eko Shastram, Devaki Putra Geetam,
Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva.
Eko Deva, Devaki Putra Eva. Devaki Putra. Devaki Putra. Krishna is the only God. Shankaracharya, who is Lord Shiva himself, he has come to establish a religion in order to divert people who are atheistic and monistic and keep the cream Vaishnavas aside. And he's telling here, Eko Putra. Who is that Putra? Only Devaki Putra is only the God. Others are called demigods. We have to understand difference between God and demigods. There is only one God in our Sanatan Dharma. Ours is not Hinduism. Hinduism is a word which was coined by Britishers. Ours is Sanatan Dharma. We only one God. And all others are the subservients. And they are taking the position of demigods. Whether it is Shiva, Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Chandra, Lakshmi, Durga, everyone has taken a certain positions and they have certain relationship with Krishna as the God. This principle has to be understood. We are only one God. We don't have many gods. We are only one God. And that God has taken different forms as Rama, Narasimha, Krishna, Mahavishnu. In this way has taken those forms. We have to understand these details very properly. Being, no, we are only calling ourselves Hindus and proclaiming ourselves very proud about it. First understand your religion properly. First understand Sanatan Dharma properly. कोई बकवास में नहीं जाना है ना व्यक्ति को ये ना कोई सुन लिया ये पढ़ लिया करके नहीं properly you have to understand. And then he says eko mantra, there is only one mantra to chant, not so many mantras are there. All other mantras related to specific demigods is only for mental and intellectual stability, but spiritual stability, purification of the heart and mind gets purified only by one mantra. Who is that mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the mantra. Tasya namani yani. Chanting the name of the Krishna is very important. That's what Shankaracharya is saying. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda Mudamate. You please worship Govinda. In this way, he is highlighting the principle of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And in this one religion with one God and one mantra, we have only one work to do in our life. That is Tasya Seva. Just Devasya Seva. Just service to that Supreme God is the only Seva we have. No other Seva. That means any activity in your life you do now for maintaining your body and mind and family, that all you have to dovetail as a service to God. Bhakti is a principle which unites everything. It doesn't negate anything. It only dovetails everything in Krishna's service. So with this, I would like to conclude here. And thank you very much for all of your presence. So Gita Mahatmya speaks about the importance of Bhagavad Gita, reciting Gita regularly. And that Gita, which is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, because Arjuna is a devotee. And because of his presence, Krishna spoke it very openly, with full heart, without any reservations. And this Gita only has to be accepted. And one God only has to be accepted. And Krishna mantra is the only mantra which you need to recite. Spiritual life is very easy when you understand principles properly. If you don't understand principles and knowledge properly, na, whole thing looks very compulsive and confusing, and and therefore people are not showing any interest in religion, in Sanatan Dharma, because they think that it is too much, too complicated. No, it's not complicated. First, at least try to heed and hear enough first. First, hear, understand properly. Then you can question it, na. Without understanding, na, you just make your legislative statements, अपना फंडाबाजी करने से नहीं होता है भगवत गीता के ऊपर. पढ़ो पहले, पढ़ने के बाद बताओ ना दुनिया को क्या पढ़ा है. You can't comment on a subject without going through it. It's very crucial that we should read. Okay. So I thank each of your presence here, and since my battery is going down, and I think it will not go continue for a long time, we can stop, or anyone has any specific question, one question, very urgent, they want to ask Prabhu, I have a question, then they can ask.
Bro, just you can mention for next week